This week's webcasts, Mother's Day, Jewish Perspectives. Hello and welcome. This is Rabbi Pearl discussing Jewish perspectives on Mother's Day. Jewish holidays are fundamentally different than secular holidays like the 4th of July or President's Day. Such holidays commemorate events, while Jewish holidays are actually portals in time when we can re-experience the spiritual forces and blessings that are unleashed due to the historical event. So, for example, on the upcoming holiday of Shavuos, the Jewish people receive the Torah. Therefore, every year on Shavuos, we have the opportunity to accept the Torah anew and strengthen our personal commitment to Torah study. A little further back, we of course celebrated Passover. Pesach celebrates God freeing the Jewish people from the slavery in Egypt. But the Torah requires us to recall the Exodus from Egypt every single day, as we say at the end of the Shema. So our question is, why do we then need to celebrate Passover if we already recall leaving Egypt continuously throughout the year? And the same would apply for almost all holidays. Why would that be? So on Shavuos, when we celebrate God giving us the Torah at Mount Sinai, we also have a general commandment to remember the events of Sinai every single day. So how can we rejoice and celebrate Shavuos? How are we really enhancing our religious experience when we come around Shavuos? We have a mitzvah to learn every single day. Why do we need to have Passover once a year when we remember Egypt every single day? The answer is, we celebrate all the Jewish holidays with the following idea in mind. Yes, we need to remember all of God's miracles and kindnesses at all times. But such a position is difficult to be able to do it. Doing something constantly, sometimes, we get used to it, becomes part of the rote. Eventually, the dramatic side of it can become tedious, become just, going through the motions. So we pause at those specific times. The Jewish holidays allows us to concentrate on a renewed vital component of recognizing what that week of celebration of Passover is all about, what that importance of Shavuos is all about. And that becomes part of our ideas, a part of our life for the rest of the year. Yes, we do need to constantly work to attain our freedom. But when Passover comes, as we relive the Jewish experience on exactly the same time during that full week of Passover, what happens? We become empowered to be able to take that attitude of true freedom for the rest of the year. So each holiday provides us with renewed vigor, renewed deepening of our relationship with God that each holiday provides us. And with that, we go through the rest of the year. So if you celebrate Mother's Day, we must do it in the same approach as any other Jewish holiday. Surely we show our appreciation, buy the card, buy the roses, and go ahead and take her out for dinner. But surely the Jewish perspective is that display of gratitude and affection shouldn't just be an annual occasion. Mother's Day should be a day filled with love and endearment that helps us to continuously experience that throughout the year. That's what Mother's Day is, Jewish style. So I would like to suggest, maybe we have this whole thing backwards. How we look at Mother's Day. Perhaps it's a day for mothers to appreciate the gifts our children have already given us. Surely nothing wrong with receiving a gift on Mother's Day, and I would quickly add Father's Day. But I would like to suggest now, there are some amazing gifts our children give it to us even before we come to Mother's Day or Father's Day. Yes, so Mother's Day has passed. But I think that we should pause and think of the gifts that we receive every day from our children. And here are 4 of many gifts that our children keep on giving us on a daily basis. The first gift that we get from our children, whether we're a mother or a father, Mother's Day or Father's Day, is the gift of play. Think about this. Children help us hold on to that joy of play. Whether it's finger painting in the kitchen or running across the soccer field, climbing on the playground or going upside down on the newest roller coaster, hiking through the forest, as the spring flowers bloom. What is it about children? They notice the little things that we too often overlook. The rainbow in the puddle, the butterfly on the log, the way the wind feels when you run together across the grass, the freedom of watching the kite taking flight. So my friends, the first gift I think our children remind us of is that gift of seeing the small things in life. The second gift that we receive from our children is the gift of stories. Children give us stories. Sometimes they don't make sense. Sometimes, they go on endlessly with the random pauses in the middle of everything. But if you take the time to listen, our children in their stories gift us with incredible lessons about how the world looks from an innocent perspective. We become fachaded. The children haven't been tainted by the world yet. They teach us how the imagination can overcome so many obstacles that often block our way. And how sometimes the story doesn't have to have a definite ending. Sometimes it's the telling itself that connects us and teaches us and helps us to see new possibilities. I suggest that that's another major gift our children give us on a daily basis. And there's a third gift that we receive from our children, not only on Mother's Day or Father's Day, it's the gift of giving. Think about it. Children need us the way nobody else has or will. They need food, they need clothing, they need shelter, they need love, they need guidance, they need warmth. Perhaps more than they need to receive, we need and want to give. The ability to give is a gift that deepens each time we use it. It's a blessing that transforms us. It moves us beyond our narrow definitions of ourselves and expands the potential of who we can become. That's an amazing gift that our children give us. Then there's the gift of growth. Children embody hope itself. From the sweet newborn scent of our babies through the many firsts that every child goes through. Raising a child is an exercise in constant beginnings. The first tooth, the first step, the first day of school, the first time she reads to ride a bike, the first time he drives on his own. The list can go on and on. And as parents, we are not only witnesses to growth, but think about this. We are partners. We are partners in each new stage of our children. And we grow in ways that we never could have dreamed before we were blessed with children. Maybe we have this whole thing backwards. Perhaps Mother's Day, it's a day for mothers and fathers on Father's Day to appreciate the gifts our children have already given us. On this Mother's Day, let's keep those gifts among many others close to our hearts. Because Mother's Day gives us a valuable chance to pause, to reflect on our goals of what our family life is really all about. And as I read a story recently in Newsday, a Long Island newspaper, where a mother, a parent, waited for so many years to have a child. She had miscarriages, sadly. Finally, she had a child. This child gave the greatest gift to this woman. She became a mother. So, dear friends, a father or a mother, the greatest gift that our children give us is the mitzvah, is the ability to be a father, to be a mother. So, if you're celebrating Mother's Day, gesund hate, but allow that appreciation of what our children are giving us on a deeper sense all the time is so important, must be kept close to our heart. So whether you're a mother or not, let's take a few minutes to sit quietly and think about the answers to the following 6 questions. Because if we are a parent, If you're a parent, a mother or a father, it's important for us to think about the following 6 questions. Yes, we're a mother. Yes, we're a father. But my question is, we must say to ourselves, what kind of atmosphere is going on in my home? Right? We expect our children to respect us, to look up to us, to be guided to us. But we also have a responsibility, something that we can think about on these Mother or Father's Days. What is the atmosphere being created in our home? You know, one of the highest Jewish wishes for a person that they should have what is known as shalom bayis. Shalom means peace in their homes. Shalom means an absence of strife, a state of relating to each other with respect and kindness. But in Hebrew, shalom means even something more than just shalom, peace. It has a second meaning, which means completeness. When we wish for shalom in our homes and our families, we're actually asking for more than just a mere no arguments going on. We're actually asking for a sense of completeness, a sense of truly knowing one another with depth and respect and appreciation of each other. The second question we must ask, do we have enough unscripted time together? Getting to know other people takes time, and families are no exception. Yet these days, time seems to be like one commodity we're low on, with pressures from work and from school, not to mention the constant pressure of staying connected electronically. Spending time together with no outside distractions can seem like an impossible goal. One place to start to rethink our schedules is meal times. You know, there's many studies being made that kids who regularly eat together with their parents have significantly lower rates of drug and alcohol abuse. They earn higher grades and have better self-images, those who sit and eat together with their parents. The way in which families eat together seems to be important. And those families who sit together and eat together had higher rates. There was a whole different approach. When families sit together and they eat and they converse together, it makes a whole difference. You know, within Judaism, we're given a weekly formula, a kind of togetherness that is associated with healthier families. Shabbat, holiness of Shabbos. That is a time when families traditionally tune out of the pressures of work, on school and the like. And we turn inward to focus on each other instead. As someone so beautifully said to me this week, Shabbat is when God invites us into His home. The weekdays is when we invite God into our home. Shabbat dinner and other meals can be that needed break from the thick of the week, giving us a chance to relax, to unwind, to have a live conversation with loved ones and guests, and even begin to get to know one another again. Here's my third question we must think about. Certainly as a parent, Mother's Day and Father's Day, what are my family's spiritual goals? Many of us aren't used to thinking in terms of spirituality, but each family has a spiritual part of their life. Right? We all have a spiritual side. Everybody craves a connection with something larger than themselves. Children especially wish to make sense of the world around them. And the ways in which we choose to live helps our children, our families to come up with their own answers to these big questions. So here's something to think about. Do our children actually see us giving charity? Do our children see us going out of our way to help another person? Do our children see us acting with honesty and honor? Are we showing them that we value our traditions, that we care for our communities and turn to them in times of trouble and other times? Do our children see us seeking to connect to God? You know, it can seem daunting to influence the spiritual growth of our children, particularly when many of us haven't completely worked through our own thoughts and feelings yet. But you know what? Others are watching our examples. The world is looking at us just the same. Our children looking to us. So perhaps on this Mother's Day and Father's Day, we should be thinking about that. And the fourth thing, You know, we always talk about going out shopping. Every parent is good at shopping and bringing home this and bringing home that. The question we must ask ourselves is, what are we bringing home every time we go shopping that relates to that Jewish home that we want to be as an example, as a model, a home for our children? So when they build their home, they will build a home the way you built a home. Do we have enough wisdom in when we go to buy? Is everything that out there that we like something we should be bringing home? Maybe. Do we have enough wisdom to say these things and these ideas and these concepts just don't belong here? The fifth question I propose as a parent is, what is my legacy? I'm sure you remember Alfred Nobel, right? He was a 19th century Swedish chemist. He invented dynamite. Well, in 1888, when he was 55, a French newspaper made a mistake and published his obituary. They thought he died. It was really his brother. But he was horrified by what he read. How was he being remembered? Death and destruction was his only legacy. What did he do? He decided, Alfred Nobel decided to change and do something positive with the rest of his life. Therefore, he used his fortune to establish the famous Nobel Prizes. Why? To give perpetuity, to give a continuity to honoring those who had advanced in sciences, in literature, and peace. This is how he wanted to make a legacy. So think about this. In 50 years from now, when our grandchildren will tell of their own grandchildren about us, what do you want them to say? Most of us won't have the shock that Alfred Nobel did, but we can take an example from him and consider on Mother's Day or on Father's Day, what is the legacy we're giving our children? What do they know of us? And finally, what are we grateful for? You know, it's easy to get caught up in the work of being part of a family and to forget the joy. Many people feel that in order to be happy, it's easy to go out, go and see a movie, have a meal, go on vacation, to somehow be entertained. But listen to this, my friends. Researchers have found out that outside sources of happiness quickly lose their potency. Forget about it. Doesn't work. It's here for a moment, 15 minutes, and that's it. Instead, the researchers have found that the quickest way to increase our happiness is to focus on the good that we have in our lives. Specifically, psychologists have found that if we write a list of all the things that we're grateful for, we will end up being significantly happy person. Try taking a moment to write down what we're thankful for. I would suggest, I feel it myself, that when I take the time to put my tefillin on, make a blessing over food, make the effort of seeing what I'm reading and what I'm doing, and looking around and appreciating, you become that much more grateful. So thinking about our families, our health, think about even the miraculous fact of our very existence. All of this can help us appreciate our families much more and to enjoy them better too. So on this Mother's Day, and I include quickly the Father's Day, please, on a moment like this, why don't we appreciate what we have and see and appreciate how much our children are giving us, how many opportunities our children are giving us to impact the future generation and to appreciate what they have. Surely they must show and they must be taught to show and to have appreciation for us. But at the same time, we show our best appreciation by noting what their amazing opportunities they give us in being able to be blessed to be a parent with all that goes with it. This is your host, Rabbi Pearl, thanking you so much for joining us. Have a great week.